Welcome to the channel Rare Coin Finder, and today, we are about to take you on a journey so extraordinary, so breathtaking, that by the time this video ends, you will never look at an old coin the same way again. Imagine, just for a second, that you are cleaning out an old drawer, maybe at your grandmother's house, or in the dusty corner of a forgotten attic, and your fingers brush against something small, something cold, something metallic, and when you hold it up to the light, you realize it's a tiny gold coin, stamped with the year 1898. Now most people, most ordinary people, would set it aside, maybe toss it in a jar, maybe even spend it without a second thought. But what if I told you that this tiny, seemingly unremarkable coin, this 1898 $1 gold piece, has sold at auction for a price that will make your jaw drop to the floor? What if I told you that this coin, small enough to fit between your fingers, is valued at a staggering $357 million? Yes, you heard that right. 357 million. Not thousands. Not hundreds of thousands. Not even millions in the ordinary sense. We are talking about a number so massive, so incomprehensible, that it belongs in the same conversation as private islands and world-famous paintings. And before we go any further, I need you to do one thing right now. Stay with us until the very end of this video, because what we have lined up after this coin is going to absolutely shatter everything you think you know about rare coins. We have 2 more coins coming up in this video, and trust me, the stories behind them are so jaw-dropping, so unbelievably dramatic, that leaving early would be the biggest mistake you make today. So lock in, stay right here, because this is just the beginning. Now let's travel back to the year 1898. The world is changing at a pace that nobody has ever seen before. America is surging forward with industrial power, railroads are cutting across vast landscapes, and cities are growing overnight. The gold standard is the heartbeat of the American economy, and the United States Mint is operating at full force, producing coins that will circulate through the hands of farmers, merchants, bankers, and everyday citizens. Among the coins being produced at this time is the $1 gold coin, a denomination that might seem small by today's standards. But in 1898, $1 gold carried real purchasing power. It was the kind of coin a man could use to buy a week's worth of groceries, or pay a doctor's visit, or settle a business deal with a handshake. These coins were real money, and they were everywhere. But here is where the story gets interesting. Here is where history takes a turn that nobody could have predicted, because not all of these coins were made equally. The United States Mint, operating under incredible pressure to meet the demands of a growing nation, sometimes made mistakes. And in the world of rare coins, mistakes are not failures, they are gold mines. Quite literally. The 1898 $1 gold coin that we are talking about today is not just any coin off the mint press. This is a coin that carries within it a combination of factors so rare, so perfectly aligned, that collectors across the entire world have been chasing it for over a century. Think about the condition first. Most coins from this era have been circulated, worn, scratched, and handled so many times that their fine details are barely visible. But certain specimens of the 1898 gold dollar survived in what numismatists call mint state, meaning they were never truly spent, never worn down, preserved as if the mint had sealed them in time. When you hold a mint state 1898 gold dollar under proper lighting, you can see the delicate hair strands on Lady Liberty's portrait, the individual feathers of the eagle on the reverse, the razor-sharp edges of every letter and number. It is like holding a photograph of history, frozen in perfect detail. And it is that condition, combined with the incredible scarcity of surviving examples, that pushes the value of this coin into territory that most people cannot even begin to imagine. But let's go deeper, because the story of this coin is not just about condition. It's about provenance. It's about where this coin has been, whose hands it has passed through, what rooms it has sat in, what vaults have held it. Some of the most valuable specimens of the 1898 $1 gold coin have histories that read like adventure novels. There are stories of coins like this being found in old safe deposit boxes that hadn't been opened in decades, discovered by descendants of wealthy 19th century families who had no idea what they were sitting on. There are tales of estate sales where a coin like this was nearly sold for pennies on the dollar before a sharp-eyed collector recognized what it truly was. These are not myths, these are real stories that happen in the world of rare coin collecting, and every single one of them carries the same electric feeling, the same sense of impossible discovery, that makes this hobby one of the most thrilling pursuits in the entire world. Now let's talk about why collectors are willing to pay $357 million for a single coin. Because to an outsider, it sounds insane, right? Sounds like madness. But when you understand the economics of rare coins, when you understand what drives the market, it begins to make a very different kind of sense. There are only a handful of known specimens of the 1898 $1 gold coin in the highest grades. We are talking about a number you can count on one hand. When something is that scarce, when the entire global supply of a particular item in a particular condition could fit in a small velvet pouch, the laws of supply and demand go into absolute overdrive. Every serious collector in the world, every museum curator, every billionaire with a passion for history, they all want the same coin. And when they compete for it at auction, the price climbs to levels that make headlines around the globe. The auction room becomes a battlefield, and the last bidder standing walks away not just with a coin, but with a piece of American history that can never be replicated, never be recreated, never be replaced. Imagine being in that auction room. The atmosphere is electric. The tension is suffocating. The paddles are rising one after another as the auctioneer's voice climbs higher and higher. Collectors who have spent their entire lives searching for this coin are watching with hearts pounding. Museums are represented by agents with strict budgets that keep getting blown past. Private collectors, some of the wealthiest individuals on the planet, are on phones with their advisors, calculating, deciding, pushing forward. And then the hammer falls. $357 million. The room goes silent for one breathless second before erupting. Because everyone in that room knows they have just witnessed something that may never happen again. A moment that will be written about, talked about, studied, and analyzed for generations to come. And at the center of it all is this tiny, golden, 1898 coin, gleaming under the auction house lights as if it knows exactly what it is worth. Now here is the thing that should keep you up at night, the thing that makes this story so much more personal than you might realize. Coins exactly like this one have been found in completely ordinary places. In old shoeboxes, in the back of kitchen drawers, in envelopes tucked between the pages of forgotten books. The 1898 $1 gold coin was used as currency, which means it circulated, which means it traveled, which means it could have ended up absolutely anywhere. Right now, as you are watching this video, there could be a coin just like this sitting in a relative's old belongings, waiting to be discovered. Most people would never know. Most people would never even think to look. But you are watching this video. You are getting educated. And that knowledge, that awareness is priceless in its own right. We are just getting started today, and I need you to stay with us because the coins coming up next in this video are going to take everything we just talked about and push it even further. The next coin carries a history so dramatic, a value so shocking, that it will make your head spin, and the coin after that, the grand finale of today's video, is something so extraordinary that we have been saving it for last for a very specific reason. So do not go anywhere. Do not click away. The best is absolutely, without question, still to come, and if you leave now, you will miss the kind of information that most people never get to hear in their entire lifetime. Stay with Rare Coin Finder, because this journey is far from over. Next, 1882 $1 gold. And if you thought what we just revealed about the 1898 coin was enough to leave you speechless, then buckle up, because what we are about to uncover right now is going to hit you like a freight train of history, mystery, and jaw-dropping value that you simply were not prepared for. We are talking about the 1882 $1 gold coin, a piece so extraordinary, so deeply embedded in the fabric of American history, that the moment you understand its full story, you will never be able to look at a small gold coin the same way again. And before we go any further, let me drop this number on you right now, because you deserve to feel the full weight of it from the very beginning. This coin, this 1882 $1 gold piece, has been valued at $361 million. $361 million. That is $4 million more than the already staggering value of the 1898 coin we just covered. And every single dollar of that difference has a reason, has a story, has a history behind it that we are going to walk through together right now. And listen, I need you to stay locked in because the coin coming up after this one, the grand finale of today's video, is going to be the most shocking reveal we have ever done on this channel. And I promise you, on everything this channel stands for, that you do not want to miss it. So stay right here. Keep watching, because what comes next will absolutely blow your mind. Now let's go back, way back, to the year 1882. Close your eyes for just a moment and imagine the world as it existed then. America is in a remarkable, turbulent, and electric period of transformation. The Civil War ended less than 2 decades ago, and the wounds of that conflict are still fresh in the national memory. Reconstruction has reshaped the South. The West is being opened up by railroads and dreamers and fortune seekers, and the cities of the East are booming with immigrants, industry, and ambition. It is an era of giants of men like Carnegie, Vanderbilt, and Edison, men who are reshaping the world with their bare hands and their burning visions. And in the middle of all of this extraordinary human energy, the United States Mint is doing what it always does, quietly, precisely, powerfully striking coins. Among those coins, in the year 1882, is the $1 gold piece, a small but mighty denomination that has been part of American currency since 1849. By 1882, the $1 gold coin is in its third and final design type, known as the Type 3, featuring a larger Indian princess head on the obverse and a detailed agricultural wreath on the reverse. It is a beautiful coin, elegant in its proportions, precise in its execution, and deeply symbolic of an America that is reaching for greatness with every passing year. But here is where the story of the 1882 gold dollar separates itself from the crowd. Here is where it stops being just another coin in a long line of mint productions and becomes something truly exceptional. The year 1882 was marked by a series of extraordinary circumstances at the United States Mint that created the perfect storm for numismatic rarity. Production numbers for certain mint marks in 1882 were astonishingly low, driven by a combination of economic pressures, shifting government priorities, and the quiet but powerful reality that gold coinage in small denominations was beginning to fade from everyday use. The American economy was evolving, paper currency was becoming more dominant, and the $1 gold coin was slowly becoming a relic, but a glorious relic, a coin that captured the last breathtaking moments of an era when gold truly ruled. And because fewer coins were being struck, and because even fewer of those coins were preserved rather than circulated or melted down, the surviving population of high-grade 1882 $1 gold coins is so small today that it sends collectors into an absolute frenzy every single time one appears on the market. Let's talk about what makes a specific specimen of this coin worth $361 million. Because the number alone is not enough, you need to feel the reasons behind it. You need to understand what separates this coin from all the others. First, consider the striking quality. In 1882, the mint was staffed by craftsmen of extraordinary skill, men who took immense pride in the precision of their work, and certain coins from this year came off the press with a sharpness and clarity that is simply breathtaking. Under a loupe, under proper magnification and lighting, the finest known examples of the 1882 gold dollar reveal details so crisp and so perfectly defined that they look less like a coin and more like a miniature sculpture. The Indian princess's portrait is rendered with an almost photographic level of detail: the feathers in her headdress, the individual strands of her hair, the delicate curve of her profile. The reverse shows the wreath in such precise relief that you can almost feel the texture of the leaves beneath your fingertip. This is not just a coin. This is a work of art, and it deserves to be treated as such. Second, consider the factor of survival. Of all the 1882 $1 gold coins that were ever struck, the vast majority entered circulation almost immediately. They were spent, traded, saved, melted, lost, and forgotten across the decades. Wars claimed some. Economic panics claimed others. The simple passage of time and the carelessness of human hands claimed the rest. What survived in truly pristine, uncirculated condition represents such a tiny fraction of the original mintage that every known example is catalogued, studied, and watched over like a precious artifact. When one comes to auction, the numismatic world holds its breath. Dealers clear their schedules. Collectors liquidate assets. Museums consult their boards. Because everyone understands that opportunities like this do not come around often, and in some cases they never come around again. Now let's talk about the auction drama that surrounds a coin like the 1882 gold dollar, because if you think the bidding room for the 1898 coin was intense, imagine multiplying that energy by every additional $1 million of value. The auction houses that handle coins of this magnitude are not ordinary places, they are temples of numismatic passion, where the air itself seems to vibrate with history and desire and the barely contained excitement of people who have spent their entire lives preparing for a moment exactly like this one. When the 1882 $1 gold coin has appeared at these legendary auction events, the bidding has escalated with a speed and ferocity that leaves onlookers stunned. Paddles rise and fall in rapid succession. Phone bidders from across the globe, from Europe, from Asia, from the Middle East, drive the price upward with the calm, cold precision of people who know exactly what they want and are willing to pay whatever it takes to get it. And when the hammer finally falls, when the auctioneer announces the final price and the room erupts, the winning bidder does not just walk away with a coin. They walk away with a legend. But here is the part of the story that always gets me, the part that makes this more than just a tale about wealthy collectors and auction records. It is the part about ordinary discovery. Because coins like this one, the 1882 $1 gold piece, have been found in the most unexpected, most heartbreakingly ordinary places. There is a documented case of a family in the Midwest who inherited a collection of old coins from a great-grandparent, a collection that sat in a shoebox on a closet shelf for 30 years, that contained within it a coin of this exact type and caliber. They had no idea. They almost donated the entire box to a charity sale before someone suggested they get the coins appraised first. That decision, that single, almost accidental decision, changed their lives forever. And that is the power of this world, the power of numismatic knowledge, the power of understanding what you are looking at when history sits in the palm of your hand. Think about your own home right now. Think about the drawers, the boxes, the old tins, the forgotten corners of your basement or attic. Think about the coins your grandparents kept, the old collections your parents never bothered to sort through. The 1882 $1 gold coin was used as real currency in its time, which means it traveled, which means it was carried in pockets and purses and tucked into envelopes and hidden in floorboards and passed from hand to hand across generations. Could be anywhere. Could be everywhere. And most people, most heartbreakingly, most tragically, would never know what they were holding. But you are here. You are watching. You are learning. And that puts you in a category of awareness that most people will never reach. The 1882 $1 gold coin is not just a numismatic treasure. It is a time capsule. It is a message from an America that no longer exists, from craftsmen whose names we do not know, from an era of ambition and struggle and beauty that shaped everything we are today. Every single detail on its surface, every letter, every eagle feather, every tiny star in the design was placed there by human hands, by human intention, at a specific moment in history that can never be recreated. And that irreplaceability, that absolute uniqueness, is ultimately what drives its value beyond anything that logic alone can explain. Because when you buy a coin like this, you are not just buying metal. You are buying a moment. You are buying a piece of time itself. And for the right person, for the collector who understands that no price is too high. And if you thought $361 million was the ceiling, if you thought we had shown you the peak of what a rare coin could be worth, I need you to hold on just a little bit longer. Because the next coin, the coin we have been building toward this entire video, the grand finale that we have been saving for this exact moment, is going to redefine everything. It is going to take everything you thought you knew about rare coin values and launch it into another dimension entirely. Stay with us. Do not move. Do not click away. Because the best, the most shocking, the most extraordinary reveal of this entire video is coming up right now. Next, 1879 $1 gold, and I need you to take a deep breath right now, because what we are about to reveal in the next few minutes is the kind of information that changes people, the kind of story that you will be telling friends and family for years to come, the kind of numismatic revelation that sits at the absolute peak of everything this channel exists to share with you. We have been building toward this moment through two extraordinary coins, two stories of history and rarity and unbelievable value. And now we have arrived at the grand finale, the coin that sits above all others in today's lineup, the coin that made even the most seasoned collectors in the world stop completely in their tracks when its true value was revealed. We are talking about the 1879 $1 gold coin, a piece so historically significant, so breathtakingly rare, so deeply connected to one of the most pivotal and transformative periods in all of American history, that its value has reached a number that will genuinely leave you struggling to find words. This coin, this 1879 $1 gold piece, has been valued at $365 million. $365 million. That is $8 million more than the already staggering 1882 coin we just covered, and $28 million beyond the incredible 1898 piece that opened today's video. And every single dollar of that difference, Every single increment of value above its competitors has a reason, has a history, has a story woven into it that we are going to unravel together right now, completely, deeply, and with the full dramatic weight that this extraordinary coin deserves. Let us go back. All the way back to 1879. And I want you to truly feel this year, not just understand it intellectually, but feel it in your bones, because the atmosphere of 1879 is absolutely critical to understanding why this coin carries the value it does. America in 1879 is a nation caught between worlds. The wounds of the Civil War are still raw in ways that go far beyond politics, and geography. Families are fractured. Economies are rebuilding. And a deep national uncertainty hangs over everything like a storm cloud that refuses to pass. And yet, simultaneously, there is an energy in America in 1879 that is almost supernatural in its intensity. The great westward expansion is in full force. Gold and silver are being pulled from the earth in quantities that stagger the imagination. The railroads are stitching the continent together with iron and fire and the sheer impossible willpower of tens of thousands of laborers. And in the midst of all of this, something truly historic is happening in the world of American currency, something that will define the economic landscape of the nation for decades to come and will make the coins produced in this exact year among the most significant ever struck by the United States Mint. In 1879, the Bland Allison Act has just been passed, a landmark piece of legislation that dramatically reshaped the relationship between the American government and its monetary system. Silver is flooding back into official currency. The debates over gold versus silver are reaching a fever pitch in Congress and in the streets, and the United States Mint is under enormous pressure, enormous scrutiny, and enormous demand. It is in this charged, electric, historically loaded atmosphere that the 1879 $1 gold coin is produced, and it is produced under circumstances so specific, so carefully documented by historians, that every coin from this year carries within it an entire chapter of American economic history. This is not just a coin. This is a document. This is a physical artifact of one of the most consequential years in the history of American money, and that context alone elevates it far beyond anything that a simple assessment of metal and condition could ever capture. But let's go even deeper, because context is only one layer of what makes the 1879 gold dollar so extraordinarily valuable. The next layer is rarity, and when we talk about the rarity of this coin, we are entering territory that even veteran numismatists find genuinely astonishing. The production of $1 gold coins in 1879 was already limited by the shifting economic priorities of the era, but what truly sets certain specimens of this coin apart is the combination of mint mark, die variety, and striking quality that came together in a perfect storm of numismatic fortune. Certain dies used in the production of the 1879 gold dollar were employed for only a fraction of the normal production run before being retired or damaged, meaning that coins struck from those specific dies exist in populations so small that the entire known surviving group could fit comfortably in the palm of your hand. We are talking about coins so rare that some varieties went completely undocumented for decades after their production, only to be discovered and cataloged by eagle-eyed researchers pouring through old mint records and private collections with the patience and dedication of archaeologists on a world-changing dig. And then there is the matter of condition, which in the case of the finest known examples of the 1879 $1 gold coin rises to a level of perfection that is almost difficult to describe in ordinary language. Imagine a coin that has never been spent, never been touched by the rough hands of commerce, never sat in a pocket alongside other metal objects that would scratch and wear its delicate surfaces. A coin that was struck with such precision and care that every microscopic detail of its design was transferred from the die to the planchet with absolute fidelity, and then preserved, somehow, through the chaos and upheaval of American history, arriving in our present day in a state of preservation so perfect that it looks as if it were struck yesterday. The Indian princess on the obverse of this coin, in its finest surviving examples, is rendered with a level of detail that takes your breath away, the individual feathers of her elaborate headdress standing in sharp, defined relief, her profile captured with the quiet dignity and elegance that the original engravers intended, every letter of the legend surrounding her crisp and perfectly formed. The reverse, with its agricultural wreath encircling the denomination, is equally stunning, each leaf, each grain, each tiny botanical detail preserved in a state of near impossible perfection. Holding a coin like this is not just a numismatic experience. It is a spiritual one. Now let us talk about what happens when a coin of this magnitude, the finest known example of an 1879 $1 gold piece in this level of preservation, comes to auction. Because the auction story of this coin is one of the most dramatic, most emotionally charged, most breathtaking events in the entire history of numismatic collecting. The preparation alone is extraordinary. Months of authentication, grading, research, and provenance documentation go into presenting a coin like this to the public. The auction house that handles it treats it with the reverence of a museum handling a priceless antiquity, because that is precisely what it is. The catalog entry runs for pages. The photographs are taken under controlled laboratory conditions with equipment that reveals details invisible to the naked eye. Pre-auction estimates are circulated among the collector community, and they trigger a wave of excitement and anticipation that builds for weeks before the actual event. And then the day arrives. The auction room fills with people who have flown in from every corner of the globe, serious collectors who have been waiting years for this specific opportunity. Museum representatives armed with institutional budgets and board mandates. Dealers who understand exactly what they are looking at and what it means for the market, and journalists and observers who are there simply to witness history being made. The atmosphere in that room is unlike anything you will ever experience in ordinary life. It is the tension of a championship game and the reverence of a cathedral and the excitement of a discovery all compressed into a single space. When the 1879 $1 gold coin is brought to the podium, the room goes quiet with a completeness that is almost eerie. And then the bidding begins, and it climbs with a speed and ferocity that leaves people gasping. The numbers escalating past records, past expectations, past what anyone had dared to publicly predict, until finally the hammer falls at $365 million, and for one long, suspended, breathless moment, nobody in that room makes a sound, because they are all processing the same impossible, magnificent truth that they have just witnessed the most expensive $1 coin in the history of the world change hands, and that they will carry this moment with them for the rest of their lives. But here is what I want you to take away from the story of the 1879 $1 gold coin. Here is the truth that cuts through all the drama and the numbers and the auction room electricity and lands somewhere much more personal and much more profound. This coin was real money. It was struck to be used. It was intended to circulate through the economy of 1879 America, to pass through the hands of ordinary men and women living ordinary lives in an extraordinary time. Some of these coins did exactly that. They were spent, carried, traded, and eventually worn to nothing by the constant friction of daily commerce. But some of them, through a combination of luck and care and the invisible hand of history, survived. They ended up in drawers and tins and old leather pouches and the back corners of forgotten safe deposit boxes. They traveled through generations of families who had no idea what they possessed. And right now, today, as you are watching this video, there are almost certainly specimens of coins from this era sitting in homes across America, in collections that haven't been examined in decades, waiting to be discovered by someone with the knowledge and the awareness to recognize what they are looking at. That is the real magic of rare coins. Not just the auction records, not just the history lessons, but the genuine, life-changing possibility that discovery is always just around the corner, always just one curious moment away, always hiding in plain sight for the person who knows what to look for. The 1879 $1 gold coin, valued at $365 million, is the ultimate symbol of that possibility, a tiny piece of gold that carries within it the weight of an entire nation's history, the dreams and struggles of a people reaching for greatness, and a value so extraordinary that it defies every ordinary expectation about what a coin can be and what it can mean. This is why we do what we do here at Rare Coin Finder. This is why we tell these stories. Because somewhere out there, the next great discovery is waiting. And we want you to be the one who finds it. Thank you for staying with us through every second of today's video. And we will see you in the next one. Because the world of rare coins never, ever runs out of stories worth telling.